live.
Okay. Welcome everyone to our 38th TAN Council recurring meeting. For today's meeting, we'll pretty much just go through TAN IP1 data and then open the floor to some open discussion or Q&A. Firstly, however, let's start with an overview of the TAN Council and the purpose of these recurring meetings. These recurring meetings serve 5 critical functions. They provide transparency to our community. They create a structured forum for proposal discussions, enabling authors to present to the council and community and to discuss, debate, and refine for formal proposal and voting with consensus. They enable regular platform updates. They ensure consistent communication amongst council members. And finally, they allow direct community engagement through question and answer sessions. The TAN Council is a local governance organisation within the Telcoin platform. Together we serve as a provider and administrator of collective goods and services within the jurisdictional domain of the Telcoin Application Network, or TAN. The TAN Council, with our 6 members, makes decisions related to TAN improvements and policies through the TAN IP process, meaning 5 out of 6 votes to approve proposals within a 120-hour voting period. Our primary duties are to, firstly, allocate TEL issuance on TAN for stakers and developers to harvest, and secondly, plan and finance the development of the Telcoin application network. Our key responsibilities include reviewing and voting on snapshot proposals, attending these bi-weekly meetings, providing regular community updates, monitoring TAN systems, and enforcing operational rules. We use Discord and Slack for day-to-day communication, a forum for informal proposal discussions, these recurring council meetings for proposal discussions, deliberation and refinement, and snapshot for formal voting. Overall, the TAN Council has authority over miner harvesting and planning and financing TAN infrastructure. So, just a very brief recap from last week. We reviewed the TAN IP1 data, which continued to show steady wallet growth and fee volume trends. Of course, there's room for improvement there, which we will work on, but so far so good. And Nick ran us through his new block explorer design, so thanks again for that one, Nick. I'd like to now hand over to Derek to run us through this week's TAN IP1 data. Do you see anything interesting?
Yeah, let me share my screen really quick.
Awesome.
Let's see. All right, you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so just a little bit. Some interesting data. So first off, I want to talk about cumulative Telcoin rewards that are unclaimed. So that balance is up to around 34 million. So that's going to be from this essentially where we were before, at the 3% or the 3 million, 3.2 million every week. Unclaimed dipped a little bit again. We saw, let's see here, what was the other data set? Total fees was about the same. We're kind of normalizing total fees right around 400 to 450K. A few weeks of that now. Obviously, now that we have a big enough data set with a few weeks, I kind of took out all the old stuff and put that in here. The active wallets continues to tick up. So you can see here, started at 1,080, 91, 97, 105. So it continues to kind of grow from that aspect. And this is unique wallet counts. That's new wallets included with that. Active wallets, that's what the weekly wallet count is. So you can see improvement from last week and kind of moving back in that direction. And then 4 new wallets this period as well. The amount of referee fees is probably normalizing anywhere between 50 to 60%. The sum of total fees, that's the one that I really think is important to look at, because that tells us kind of what the volume is through the app. It's going to tell you what the total fees are there. And going back down to kind of the volume, speaking about the volume, some of the graphs that we have. So this is a little bit better view now that I took out some of the old data sets. You can kind of see kind of the fee total type. So we're seeing referee fees and staker fees. That referee fees has ticked up a little bit when you talk about the distribution between the two. And in my opinion, that's in part because you had a few more new wallets, and then you've got some activity. Normally, when you see this, it's going to be kind of indicative that this is activity. It could be construed as activity from newer wallets that are adding liquidity into the system, or making trades, right, or whatever else. Because it's normally, if older wallets are the ones that are going to have more referees, right? So those wallets, it will factor, it'll multiple from a multiplier standpoint. It has kind of more. Um, it's going to track a little bit more there. So, and that correlates with seeing how much of the referee fees here versus the staker fees. So that is ticking up, meaning that it could be said that we're seeing more and more activity from newer and newer wallets, and the stakers are kind of holding tight, I guess you would say. One interesting stat, I'll pull that up in a minute, in regards to the total staked amount. That's another thing I'm going to start looking at too, but I have that stat pulled from on chain on Telcoin Hub. I'll grab that in a second. This is again kind of that metrics that we're looking at. If this line is tighter together, that's a good sign. Um, that means that we're being equal balance from that standpoint. You can see how it's kind of we're trending in the right direction there, but this tells me, I think, that we're kind of moving back towards, probably see some more referee fees coming through, as new referees add a code, add a wallet, and do some trading for the first time.
Do we actually want it equal there? I'm just thinking now. It's
That
like,
it doesn't matter as much as it used to. Um,
yeah,
Really, I think it's, if you really think about it, having more referee volume
yeah,
is probably better, because that, like I said, that kind of indicates that you've got newer wallets
yeah. And like
that
a
are have
more
activity,
of a
right?
like one-to-many relationship
Mm-hmm.
between stakers and
Exactly.
referees.
And
Yeah,
that's, so I had thought about kind of trying to change some of my data sets to look at wallet velocity, which is essentially a measurement of active wallets. And um, it's almost like a delta, a productivity index, where you're taking like an age of a wallet divided by how active it is to give like a numerical value.
ah, that's
And
cool.
it kind of gives you a good semblance of that number overall, right? Gives you a good semblance of, as an ecosystem, are there more active newer wallets or older wallets? So it kind of can give you a
Mhm.
trend direction and how things are going, I think. So I'm going to
That'd
start
be
working on
cool.
that a little bit too.
Yeah,
Um,
because yeah, I think back to your like the Lorentz
yeah, the Lorenzen curve.
coefficients you
Yeah,
had in TELx, and like there should be some cool kind of out of the box, or you know,
yeah, for
interesting
sure.
ways of showing this data, and maybe kind of relationships we haven't thought of yet and stuff. So
Yeah, for sure.
it would be really cool to have a look. Oh wow, I haven't seen this in a while.
Oh yeah, so I've been doing a bunch of playing around with this. This is the
Nice.
Telx, the holders tab, pulls all the data from across the three chains and gives kind of balances of everything. And then I
Perfect.
made it where you can filter it based on, it holds all the data that it collects, so you can filter it based on versus however long ago. So you can see kind of the accumulation over certain time periods. But this is the one I wanted to pull up, and we'll go down and look at. Here's the staking overview: number of stakers, total amount staked currently, the share of total amount staked versus kind of what's available to be, or what's held, out of
Mhm.
this 70 or 78 billion or so. Average staked is about 1.6 billion, and then the share. But I wanted to pull up this specifically because I think
Nice.
this is something that was interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I confirmed that it is accurate data on chain based on the staking address. But we had
Wow.
a day where we had some pretty big buying volume, and the staked amount went up by about 500 million in a single day. Um, and it's maintained there. So I think that's
Interesting.
interesting for sure.
Right. Which one of yous was it? Fess up.
And then on here too is this shows I thought a good practice to look at kind of acquisitions outside. I know this is more about just the token in general, not necessarily staking, but to look at over a period of time, what does accumulation look like? So it measures. This is a measurement of all beginning when I started it, and this is back here. Um, how of all these chains, what's the total amount held by wallets, and then it also factors out any exchange addresses, so hot wallets. So like it'll take these, which there's a Dune
Ah,
Analytics code that tracks hot wallets and it updates that query. So basically what it does is it essentially, and I think this is something cool that we can maybe look at for the website, because that's
yeah.
kind of, I think it's kind of tells a good story of the token, for instance. But this, it shows you the holder's growth and then it shows you the amount held. So the interesting story is, regardless of the market conditions and the token going with those market conditions, is we've seen continual growth in held tel by, or buying of held in held tel in retail wallets
Or
specifically.
net tel coming off
Yeah.
exchanges, basically.
Well, that's not even exchanges. So this metric excludes all exchange volume, all exchange wallets. It doesn't calculate. That's up here,
Yeah.
um,
But
because
if an
I
but if
wanted
a
a raw
tel
value.
token if a tel token comes is um is
Like
removed from
taken
an
off.
exchange,
Yeah,
if it's
and then
taken off
held
an
on a
exchange,
right.
then it will rise on that chart, right?
Correct. Well, or if
Yeah.
it's just bought on DeFi, right? If it is held in a wallet, that's what this
Yeah.
counts. If it is
Okay.
held in a DeFi wallet, that's what this total
Yeah.
tail balance is, right? But it
Mm.
obviously like removes things like the treasury say, like any address that is a known, like um, anything that is not like a retail wallet. Like it's like something like 2 or 3 thousand addresses that I went through um,
Mm-hmm.
with a few different lists to make sure there was a blacklist that isn't included in this balance. So, but
Cool.
with enough data, you can start see the trend lines. So that's, I think, kind of the idea behind that. And then same with the staked and the holder growth. I want to do something similar for ecosystem stuff with developers, and once we get a little further down the road, because it'll help us kind of show the volume and transactions on Telcoin network. So
Yeah,
um,
that's awesome. Have you
yeah,
shown Andrew Pinch yet?
I think so. I'll have to ask him. But
Nice. I
Boo, go ahead.
think he'd love this.
Yeah, just a quick one. Obviously,
Yeah.
we've had the latest release of V5 this week. Is there any way we can see the number of people who would have upgraded to V5 or who are still on the old version of the wallet? Is there any way we can determine that?
I don't think it's got any data on chain really, so I
No,
feel
it
like
doesn't. There's no way to tell old versus new other than iOS stats, right? You could theoretically measure from the time of the upgrade to moving forward. Any wallet that produces any volume would be considered on the new V5, I guess you would say. But um, yeah, there's a few different ways to look at that, I guess, if that's answering your question.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
But I think it'll be interesting once we look at. I kind of marked the date because I want to. It'll be interesting to see. One thing I think to see kind of the different stats with the. Cause I have to start rethinking the way that we're tracking some of this data, rather than just looking at the wallet. We're gonna have to start looking at the network. So I have a bunch of hardwire or wireframe stuff ready to go for that, with some of the kind of concepts behind this with some of these charts. But if there's any other things that people want to see or think would be better, anything like that, whatever. I think it's a good idea. So yeah,
yeah,
this has
those
all
look
kinds of
great
different
though.
stuff
Awesome.
for sure. Any other? Cool, let me check the stream. Nothing. What's up, Dally? Thanks for being here. Yeah, you can filter it by chain, combined, all
So,
that fun stuff. So you can, so like
wow.
we've had 300 new wallet, for instance, like Boo, to your point, I could do this with the staking contract address. We could track total amount of wallets added in a certain amount of time. So what this measures is on chain via an RPC call with my RPCs. What is how many wallets? What's the difference between yesterday and today, right? So if it finds a new address holding tel over 1 tel, then that's counted. And I was gonna do like 10 tel, right? Just to kind of like dust, but I changed it back because a lot of these aggregators online just factor, almost all of them, any of these metric sites factor a held token, not the value of said held token. So that's why I left it at more than 1.
Awesome. Yeah. Wow. That's a great dashboard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some more stuff we can go through with that once we get rolling with the unification project. But I think this is some really good stuff, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be cool to merge it all in.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Ty, to answer your question, Grant said he was going to raise it with the product team, so haven't heard any news since then, but I assume they're aware of it and the wheels are in motion. Can everyone see that actually, Derek?
No,
or,
they can't. So what we're talking about, yeah, go ahead, Lou.
Question was, do we know if the staking or claim rewards issue has been addressed on V5 yet? Yeah, we don't yet, but they should be working on it. We'll probably have an update next call, but thanks for mentioning it.
Sweet. One other good thing to point out, we are very, very, very close to 100,000 wallets, which we've never hit before, of holders.
Ooh.
So I think that's kind of cool.
That is neat. Okay, we'll have to check back in 2 weeks' time.
Yep. That is all I have for the data analytics side of stuff. Again, if I am starting to put, it's been a minute since I've been playing with this, but now that we've got some more data, I can definitely add some more things. Once we have metrics and RPCs on Telcoin network, we'll be able to really even make it even more enhanced. So I've been looking at some of the other chains and what they use for community facing dashboards. So going to try to build some more stuff once that comes live.
Nice, great stuff. Yeah, I think kind of on a broader note, now that we're gearing up for mainnet launch, we basically on the tower we're kind of shifting our focus a bit, or at least I am, for kind of on-chain functionality and protocols and getting those kind of set up. So we're good to go for mainnet launch. So that is very TAN focused, and yeah, hoping to have some good leads there soon, and hopefully some good news for protocols coming and building, and basically starting by focusing on DeFi primitives. So DEXs, money markets, and then the infrastructure which supports those, so oracles and stuff as well. So yeah, hoping that things will be ramping up soon in the coming weeks and months as we're gearing up for that. So watch this space, basically. Ty has asked, is there a public RPC for testnet? I'm pretty sure there was, but I don't know the...
Nick, we have one set up, don't we?
Say that again.
Public RPC for testnet. Do we have? I don't know if it's public right now, but we have one. We have one set up.
rpc.telcoin.network or adiri.tel.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a load balancer, and adiri.tel as well is the other load balancer.
Dally, if you wouldn't mind writing those in the chat, that'd be awesome. So rpc.telcoin.network and adiri.tel. So
And you can see those on chainlist.org.
let's just do this.
Go on chainlist.org.
2017, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not gonna let me do that. I don't want to let me search. That's strange.
Search a dairy, I think,
Include testnets.
Oh, yeah, search a dairy.
and include testnets.
There's a checkbox underneath. Is it?
Can I just jump in and ask the general question? How do these consolidators get accessed? Like, I use Tatum, and I've got a private Tatum key, but I don't know, they won't have testnet yet. But how do they adopt a chain?
What does Tatum do, sorry?
Well, you can access like Polygon or BaseNet through a private API key.
It's the same as Alchemy, essentially.
Yeah, Alchemy.
Oh, got you.
So I'm just wondering generally how these big established providers adopt a new network like Telcoin will be.
Usually there's an integration fee and stuff. We have to go to them. Yeah, they're just an RPC provider. I haven't heard of Tatum, but I have heard of Alchemy. So
Yeah,
do with that information what you will. Yeah,
Tatum's cheaper, I think.
okay, interesting. Noted. Yeah, we can have a look at them as well. That will go on my spreadsheet.
Thanks, Leo.
Awesome.
No worries.
Yeah, just to confirm on this chainlist.org. So the two load balancers are rpc.telcoin.network and adiri.tel. The other RPCs are direct into each node, but you wouldn't really want to use those unless for a specific reason. You want to use the load balancers, either of those two primarily.
Latency's looking nice.
Yeah, a lot of work's gone into those load balancers, believe me.
Good stuff.
It all started with Ty and his first TELx transaction that took too long.
Awesome.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. It's all right. It sent us down a rabbit hole for like 2 weeks.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, there's still some delay with the Australia. We've got one node in Australia. There's still a bit of delay, so we're working on that.
Lots of almost 100,000 transactions I'm seeing now too. At least for this iteration of the Explorer.
Yeah, just one question for Leo. When TAN-IP1 was developed, I think we said TAN-IP2 was going to follow shortly afterwards. Did we ever get around to writing that script, or is it still in the works?
TAN-IP2 is the developers portion,
Yes.
right? We haven't really developed that yet. We're still kind of figuring out the overall architecture and how new application developers will basically hook into the existing like Emirex contracts and how that will all be calculated. It kind of got put on the back burner a bit in favor of mainnet. So yeah, that will be coming soon. Basically, we will need to pick that back up, but focuses on getting getting the DeFi primitives on chain first, and then we'll look at hooking them up.
Okay, thank you.
Just one interesting stat. This is the most growth we've seen in 7 days since last November, I want to say. So it's pretty cool.
10IP1 doing its job.
Yes, sir. Just a shameless plug on 10IP. Just a reminder for any swaps. The program is any swaps. You can read about it on our X account. There's a pinned post there. But any swaps on the network right now are you are, I don't want to say free. That's the wrong word, but you are reimbursed via the claim function for your volume and your participation on the network. So essentially is free trading up to a certain amount total, which we aren't even close. It's 3.2 million in volume per week. And yeah, so if you want no fee trading, there you go. Swaps, not trading. All right, just looking at the stream, I don't see any other questions there. Shout out to Dolly for sharing some stuff in there. Is there anything here on the council side? I guess I can share just to get everybody out of here, but I'm working on, I know that Cody's working on some stuff and Nick had some stuff going. I started a bot, essentially, not a bot, a Telegram moderating bot that utilizes a on-chain immutable list of banned IP addresses, CAPTCHAs, and user IDs. So it's essentially like a mod list that the bot utilizes when somebody joins a Telegram channel, and it makes a call function to that blockchain list and looks for any markers or social profile markers. There's some, and when you go to join the channel, it sends you to a web page, has you type in a short phrase, and it will track a bunch of stuff in regards to creating essentially a digital fingerprint to compare if there's bad actors trying to use different phony accounts to gain access to a server they've already been banned for. And then it also will track that across multiple channels, right? So like if an account got banned for spamming adverts or whatever, it logs that onto the blockchain, onto on chain, and then anytime they try to join another server, that's called, and if the settings are set up where it won't allow them entry, it's an instant ban there too. So still in the works, but I plan on probably deploying it to testnet here next week, I think, and just doing some testing. So
Sounds pretty hefty.
it's more about just like a lot of these social channels, not just Telegram, but a lot of these social channels, like it's very difficult to moderate at length. So if you can create a way to create a digital ID or fingerprint based on somebody's there's many different ways to do that without using like biometrics or anything crazy. That helps just moderate channels, and then keeping a list that's immutable on blockchain makes it so people can't do any funny business. So
Nice. Yeah. Huh. Good thinking. That would be cool to roll out.
yeah, we'll see. It's still just designing it. It's a lot of different steps, but it's cool.
Nice. Keep it interesting. I like it. Alrighty. Any other questions in either chat?
Nope.
Alrighty. Well, I think let's call it there then, and we will see everyone in 2 weeks' time. drop us a message on Discord if anything. Any other questions, we'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Excellent.
See ya.